Good morning, Teamsters. Morning! All right, well, we got a big day ahead of us, and welcome to all of our 13th annual Teamsters Local 320 Day on the Hill. We're going to have a great day today. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this got to be the best turnout we've had. You know, and I want to thank all of you for being here and taking the time out of your day. You're really true leaders. And it's an incredible opportunity for your legislators and others to hear about all of our issues in higher education, K-12 education, social services, health and human services, judiciary in the courts, whether it's state court administration or in public defense. We've got a lot of people here this morning, and we've got a great turnout from the public defender's offices. And as is always the case every year, we've got the best turnout today out of our Minnesota State University Administrative and Service faculty crew. So thank you to all of you. And let's not forget Ramsey County Probation. These folks are still fired up from the rally yesterday. I don't know how many of you saw the news, but we got a bitter battle going with Ramsey County. They're really trying to take it to them, and they're not going to stand for it. So Ramsey County, wake up and pay attention. So here we go.
All right, we're ready to go. Let's go. Thank you for coming. It's really important that we get our voices out there and make sure that these legislators hear us. I want to skim through this as fast as possible because we want to get to work, right? Let's start talking to our folks. So once we get to the Capitol, between 9 and 12, everybody's going to have a meeting with your own legislator, whether it's the Senate or whether it's the House. Now, each one of you have talking points for your legislators. You have 2 copies, one for you to keep and one for you to pass out. Please make sure you read those, understand what the talking points are, so that you're able to convey our position with the legislator. Any questions? You guys ready? Yeah. Let's go.
You all have this in your packet.
Yes.
This is our legislative priorities for this year. Number 1 is to get full funding for Minnesota State's budget request for infrastructure, workforce development, student critical needs, including mental health support and emergency grants. Every campus has huge needs in this area. In campus support to maintain academic programs, manage inflation, and prevent tuition increases. Right now, we're looking at big tuition increases. Otherwise, we're simply not going to be able to operate our campuses. So part of what we need to be telling all these legislators is what your jobs are and how it impacts students. Okay? We need them to make this real for them. Because right now, we're just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Making connections and hearing stories, I think, is always important.
It helps me. I mean, I'm a huge supporter. I wasn't like a hard sell here today, but when I come in with their personal stories, that enables me to do my job better so that I can relate those stories also to when we're talking about where we're going to fund, you know, in a time where the budget's getting a little bit tight, what things are really important to student services and to the universities.
We felt really listened to by Senator Kupek, and it's a good time to be in Minnesota.
If we want to see the success and not overcrowding in our prisons or our jails, I genuinely feel like if we had more community-based resources and the funding to go to that versus funding more, prison,
So when they're in the sober facilities, is that something where they're like working on, is it like, here's your tools to like function, or is it just stay away from drugs and alcohol for 30 days?
Yeah,
part of it is just letting them dry out, so they don't have access to anything like that. They don't have their phones, and they can, think about themselves a little bit instead of, worrying about where they're going to sleep that night or what they're going to eat for dinner because, they don't have money.
It's like a network of people going through the same thing. So they can talk. They have therapists that come in there, peer support specialists, recoveries that also work with them. They get them to meetings. They help them with employment. Okay. They help them find jobs. They help them find stability in the community, while in the community, to set them up for success.
I like to, just be there because so many people just want somebody to listen to them. And
a lot of people don't take the time to invest and to hear who they are as a person, not merely of their crime.
They just look at the
police report, and that's how they label them.
You just have to remember that you're not perfect, and they still are human beings, and you have to treat them the same.
Yeah.
I commend you on doing that because I don't think I have that much patience.
We're here today lobbying for public defenders, and I think the thing that is hard is everyone needs money right now. The governor's budget has about a $26 million shortfall, and if we lose that money, there's a freeze on our ability to hire and our ability to keep funding the things that we need, which is, we have a slim budget. 90% of our budget is for personnel. The rest of it goes towards funding for transcripts for appellate work that Eric does, or it's investigations or expert witnesses and things like that. All of it goes directly to our clients. The money isn't so much because Eric and I need money, but it's really because we're such, I think, an important part of public safety as a whole. When we're doing our job well, we're keeping a good check on law enforcement, and we're making sure that the right people are being held accountable. We're also making sure that there's enough humanity for our clients, and that they're not just being judged on the worst day and the worst choice that they made, but they're being seen as a whole person, and that we have a robust investigation system, that we have our own paralegals, we have dispo advisors, and we're doing our best to help people get some agency and control back in their lives because they've had a robust public defense office behind them.
Our role in adulthood because it's self-funded, right? So that's
35 years is a long time to be in this kind of
Well, today we're going to talk about why it's so important to push through the initiative, the self-funded initiative, to allow probation officers to retire at age 60 or after 35 years of service. Myself, I've been a probation officer for 31 years. I'm about 98 right now, and I think I could benefit from retirement.
Hopefully we can get this so we can retire at an age with some dignity, and so we're not out there in an unsafe environment at 60, 65 years old. It's 67 years old. It's the nature of the job is too unsafe to be doing that. The cumulative effects of the job is really mentally taxing. One thing that comes to mind with me, I ask people, like, how many people do you know that have been murdered? And if you were to ask me that question, my response would be, I lost count. So we deal with some really heavy stuff.
As a trainer for traumatic stress management for probation officers, I would say that it's very important that we get this bill passed, just because we do suffer from higher levels of stress on our job, and that has been proven through different studies. And that's why that traumatic stress management program was created by Kristen Lewis, where she did research around the nation that probation officers do suffer from higher levels of stress.
It's also a self-funded bill. We have money that's put aside from every check to go into our retirement fund. So this is a self-funded retirement bill that is supported by the Teamsters, AFSCME, Senator Peck, and Representative Waldman.
So it's not going to cost any extra money. It's just going to allow younger people to do the job that we're doing in a more effective way and allow people to retire and be honored for their service.
Well, we just wrapped up our meeting with Representative Schwartz. She spent about 20 to 25 minutes with us talking about the important work that we do as administrative and service faculty at Minnesota State University Mankato. We were able to present our legislative priorities to her in support of the Min-State bonding request to fully fund the Minnesota State budget request of $465 million. We believe that any investment in education turns around and directly sees gains in the communities where those students and families and employees live. We also believe it's important to fully fund the North Star Promise to help students pay for their entire educational costs, not just tuition and fees. We had a very wonderful conversation. She understands the important impact that colleges and universities and administrative and service faculty can have on students' lives and their futures.
Teamsters don't break!
We're all having a great time today. You know, how I feel about our local union's annual lobby day is for us it's one of the best days of the year. You know, we enjoy this so much. It's great to have a room this full, so many people involved and engaged to lay the groundwork, to do things like bargaining and, you know, secure budgets to make sure that our people are able to, you know, earn a living wage. It's about respect and everything else. And to be honest, Howard, I like this a lot more than sitting at the bargaining table. This makes my heart feel warm, bringing this many public employees and Teamsters together.
Hey, everybody. You know, I got to tell you, I'm absolutely honored to have the opportunity to introduce the governor. There are a lot of things that our members are really worried about right now, obviously the budget, but we really want to thank you for your long-term partnership. Please talk freely with our members. I know there are a lot of workers right now that are hurting and feel disrespected. Even though at the federal level, most of them, all of them are federal level, I think it's spilling down to a little bit in the state level and just even from the private sector.
Agreed.
So thank you, welcome. Let's hear it one more time.
And thank you. We were just talking. This partnership goes way back with all of you. I couldn't be prouder to stand with you, and we got to reach out to folks.
How did we get to the point where our neighbors think it's okay that a guy who inherited his wealth, who didn't do a damn thing, all of them, are in there telling hard-working federal employees who are there to clean up after hurricanes, to help us during healthcare crisis, to build our roads, all of those things, telling them their jobs, and we got to ask them what 5 things we did last week. 5 things I did was bitch about those idiots and fight back. Look, nobody wants fraud, waste, and abuse. It steals from us. We're lean as it is. We're doing the work we can. It's hard work. You got folks over here holding the sign. You know how damn hard it is to be a public defender? It's hard as hell. It's hard as hell. But guess what? Public defenders are at the heart of what the democracy means, that every one of us gets equal opportunity in front of the law. So, look, you know all this. This fight is upon us. This year here in Minnesota, we need to make sure we get a budget. We need to make sure we get a bonding bill. We need to make sure that we're pushing back on the things that are coming down. But I just want to be clear, and I'm here basically to say a thank you to all of you. I understand very clearly why I was on that national ticket. It wasn't my boyish good looks or anything like that. I was on that national ticket because the rest of the country and Vice President Harris recognized the things we're doing in Minnesota are the things the rest of the country wants. And I didn't do that. We did it together when we passed legislation to make sure they can't put us in captive meetings to bust our unions, to make sure that they're going to follow through and have safe working conditions. My God, in 6 weeks we lost the National Labor Relations Board. Oh, we don't need OSHA. We don't need any safety on this. Oh, and you don't think they're coming after unions? Look what they did in Utah. Look what they'll continue to do. And you know why this group knows it. You come after organized labor. If you want to undermine the democracy, if you want to shift the tax policy, Ronald Reagan knew this 40 years ago, that you attack labor unions, you bust labor unions because it makes it more difficult to have that unified voice. The truest form of democracy is the voice you have in your workplace to make sure that you're heard at the table. And I'll be damned. that we're hearing about. Oh, you know, we can't afford to do this, we can't afford. There's very few things in this country that couldn't be fixed if those guys just wouldn't pay their fair share of taxes. It would fix most of it. It would fix most of it. So we got work to do. These are the big picture sides of things, but here's what I believe is. The things that you're advocating for, the things that you're working for, improve people's lives. Every single person in this country should expect to be able to go to a safe working condition, work a 40-hour week, be paid a living wage, get health care, and then retire with benefits. Look, this is a big fight, but I got to tell you, I could not be prouder to be in it with this group of folks. I could not be prouder to be in it with Minnesotans. We're on the front line of this, and history will prove it right. We'll win this thing. We'll continue to advocate for it. So proudly be up there on the Hill, proudly work to, we made a lot of progress, but we got more work to do. Get those legislators to move. Get them to move on the things that we care about. Get them to continue to push back. Minnesota, I said this, we need to be the place where they're sheltered from the storm. I am grateful for everything you've done. I remain hopeful. I accept my responsibility. I'm not whistling past the graveyard. This is going to get shitty before it gets better. But there's folks that are in a lot worse position than any of us in this room that are counting on us in this room to help lift them up. We can do that together. So thank you for that. Enjoy the rest of your time. Can I take a selfie? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
So let's see if we can get everybody up a little bit.
I'm going to do it.
All right, hey.
These are my therapy right now. All right, got everybody? All right, 320, here we go. Got it. Thank you, everybody. I'll send it over. Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Let's hear it again for the governor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Major.
Good to see you guys.
I love every part you have.
Keep the fight up. Keep the fight. Keep the fight.
This year, brother. All right. Well, let's see how many people do we have here from higher ed. If you can please stand. These are all our higher ed brothers and sisters, Senator Fateh, that really appreciate you and everything you did this last biennium. But, you know, obviously we need more, right?
Yeah, much more.
Oh, and look at this, what he's showing.
Got the Teamster pin. Thank you. I want to speak about what happened last biennium. What we saw was the Teamsters show up. They came to the Capitol. They lobbied legislators. They lobbied the governor. You guys made sure your voices were heard, making sure we understand the importance of investing in our institutions. And what happened? We had the largest investment in our higher ed institutions that we had before. In fact, we had a larger investment in the past 3 budgets combined. That's powerful. That wouldn't have happened without you guys. We know that we're saving jobs. We're putting our unions in a better position to negotiate for higher wages because the money is there. And we know that we're supporting all of our workers because what I'm happy and proud to report back is that for the first time in over a decade, we're now seeing an increase in enrollment systems-wide. That's powerful. And part of that was part of your lobbying, making sure that we have the funding and the budget target to make it happen. And our goal right now is to protect what we've got. We know that there's potentially dangerous cuts coming at the federal level, but when the federal government fails, it's up to us to make up for that. And it's up to us to stand up for all of you, because we know that our institutions are nothing without our workers. The fight's not over. We know we've gotten a lot of great things done, but we can get even more done together. So my question to you is, can I count on you to show up? I don't know, can I count on you to show up? Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to win? Let's get this done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wow. Let's hear it again for Senator Fateh. Thank you for everything you do. I say it all the time. I mean, it's one thing having friends. It's another thing having partners. He has been a big partner for judiciary, helping fund the public defense, and then a big plus was he helped us pass a bill that expanded the Board of Public Defense. which gave us a vote, gave us a voice on that board. So without further ado, our friend, our partner, center stage, Representative.
You are too kind. But let me say this. We've got a tough budget situation coming up. There's no doubt about that. But all the things we fought for, like paid family medical leave, like more worker protections to make it easier for people to unionize, more payroll protections to make sure you can get access to data to recruit members into the union, we're going to make sure we hold those things. And what we keep telling them in this moment is that people didn't vote for you to take things away from them. They didn't vote for you to make their lives harder. And I remind my Republican colleagues, you all said during the election cycle that you wanted to support and represent working people. Yet, on day one, every bill that we see now coming to the House floor in the state, in our capital, are bills to take things away from working class people. Bills to make working class people's lives harder. They haven't brought one bill yet that is gonna make lives better. They haven't brought one bill that's gonna bring down the price of eggs. They haven't brought one bill that's gonna bring down the price of gas. They haven't brought one bill that's gonna make jobs more accessible and bring living wage jobs into the state. Every bill they brought has been a wish list of the things that we have been fighting back against for decades. And so what I'm going to tell you is that we're going to continue to fight against those things. And I know we're going to make it happen. I know we're going to hold the line. But we're only going to be able to do that if we all stick together. But I know in this room full of Teamsters, which when I was a public defender, Teamster, but once Teamster, always a Teamster, right? I know that my brothers and sisters are going to be there in this fight, and we're going to see it through. And we're going to make sure that whatever happens, when we come out on the other end, we're going to be better than we are right now at this point, and make even more protections, and make it even safer for workers, and make it even a better working condition for workers. And I'm looking forward to walking with you, not in front of you, not behind you, but walking with you and running with you to make sure that we're taking care of everybody. I'm preaching to the choir, and I know we're going to do that, and we're going to be here every single step of the way with you to do that. Shoulder to shoulder, we're going to do that. Thank you.
There's a few things that I want to say before we all part ways today. When I walked in the room this morning, I mean, it really is quite a feeling to see a group of Teamsters pack a room. And I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for making today possible. And listening to Governor Walz, Senator Fateh, Representative Fraser, one thing that they all said, the people that we can count on are the Teamsters. We're there. We show up. We have their back. Yeah. We educate them on the issues. This is the largest turnout that we've had for Lobby Day. And it tells me that we're all doing a really good job out there, organizing, communicating with our peers, educating the members, and not just the legislators, but educating our members. And that's how we're able to drive up participation in this program. So if everything that they said to us today is true, then I challenge all of you, and I challenge us too, those of us that work at the local union and are out in the field every day. Let's all bring one more person next year to the Lobby Day. Can you imagine if we need a room twice this size and the impact that our message will have on our elective leadership? Can we all do that? Yeah.
Thank you everybody for attending. Week to again next year.
Hey, can we hear it for Ed?
Hey, let's give Ed a big round of applause.
I'm always proud to be the voice of our members at the Capitol. I love politics. I love engaging in politics. I love engaging with legislators on it. I love changing minds. I love changing people's lives with our members. But I never replace their voice. So that's why Lobby Day is just so important that we go there with the collective voice to move these politicians in the direction of making sure working men and women have a fair shake. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.